The condo market in Toronto is shifting. It's been shifting for 3 months in a row. And as someone that meets with condo sellers and condo buyers, frankly, every single day, I've noticed a few things. And on today's video, I want to talk about those things. Now, this video is going to be kind of ranty style. I think this is information that whether you're a potential condo buyer or you're someone that owns a condo that wants to sell it in the future, I think you're going to find this valuable. My name is Tom Storey. I appreciate you being back here on the channel. All I ask is if you watch this video and you learn anything new today, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're someone that is looking to get into the market or out of the market for any specific reason, you can go into the first link in the description and book a call directly with me. Yes, Bank of Canada held, and that has brought, a slight amount of consumer confidence back to the market. But the fixed rates are still high, right? The bond yield on the 5-year fix hasn't really changed that much. So not a lot has actually changed other than potentially people that had rate holds, right? That are trying to make something happen. And the condo market is the first pocket of the market that has truly built inventory. We've talked about this a lot, like when is this going to happen and where's this inventory going to come from? Condo markets, there's options. They're out there right now and they're not moving at a fast pace. And I'm having meetings with condo sellers legitimately every day right now. So I've been looking at the numbers and most sellers kind of understand it. And they know like, okay, if I put my condo on the market now, it's probably going to take like 30, 40 days to sell. And it's not going to be the price so that maybe I could have gotten in May. And like they're understanding of it. But what I want to make this video for is to tell you the actual data, right? Because I look at this data all the time and it's interesting to me. So, a few months back in May, I was meeting with a lot of people that were selling their properties. On this video, I'm just focused on condos. Okay, I'm not going to bring in the house people that were helping as well. And a lot were downtown, CO1, CO8, because that's the bulk of where we do our business. We've been top 3 for sales volume on resale in those two areas for the past 3 years. So that's our bread and butter. That's what we really, really fundamentally understand. And I used to look and go like, okay, at the end of the month, there was like 500, 600 active listings. But in July and August, CO1, it crossed over 1,000 active listings. I haven't seen that number on active listings on the Toronto MLS report in quite a while. Like I was trying to think the last time I saw that, and it was probably like October 2020 when condo prices were kind of fully falling off and bottoming out. The inventory was higher then because less sales were happening. But right now, there was 1,000 listings in CO1, which is basically all of downtown Toronto. It's to the water. It is west to Dufferin. It is east to Yonge Street, and it is north to Bloor. Huge pocket of the city, and only about 25% of the listings are selling every single month. And I did an interview recently with the Toronto Star talking about the condo market, so I kind of dug more into it. I was like, well, I wonder how many options there really are out there. So I did a search just yesterday. Okay, if I'm just looking to buy any condo at any price point, how many options do I have right now in downtown Toronto? And between CO1 and CO8, there was 1,800 options. There was a lot to choose from. And of those 1,800 options, if the absorption of this asset class continues at what it was over the summer, only 25% of those are going to sell, right? So now the question becomes, how many of these stay on the market versus new listings coming onto the market versus the ones that are just taken off the market? But at the end of the day, the conclusion here is you got options. You got lots to choose from. And the cookie cutter stuff is sitting on the market right now. So if people have been saying, where's the inventory? Where's the inventory? I'm telling you right now, it's here for condos. Now, it's not fundamentally a buyer's market yet, but it very much is a balanced market. We're firmly in balanced market territory. We've listed quite a few condos over the last week, and we're getting showings. We sold one of them last night, so it's still happening, but not anywhere near the pace that I saw earlier this year, despite the fact that the rates are being held. And for my own personal experience, all the condos that we're listing, the stuff we have on the market right now, we have 5 as of me recording this video. It's all under $750,000. So it's not like I'm listing $1 million condos, right? Like, this is technically the portion of the market in which people can afford. So that's the first point I want to bring up on today's video. You do have options right now. If you're a condo buyer, do not settle. Never settle. You got options. You can negotiate a little bit. I will say, interestingly enough, for the ones that did sell last month, the list versus sale price was still 100%. So it seems like sellers are just now a little bit more realistic on the prices they're putting out there on the market. And you're not seeing a lot of listing low and holding offer dates. It's just, here's the price and, come and give it to me. The second thing I want to bring up is something I've talked about before. If you haven't watched my full in-depth condo buyers guide, there's a 45-minute video on this channel you can go check out. I'll put it in the description as well, is the wow factor. Because yes, we represent lots of condo sellers, but we help a ton of people buy condos too. In the last week, we've helped 3 different people buy condos. And in my opinion, they got them at really good prices, way lower than they would have been 2 months ago. And they got wow factor units at reasonable prices. And this is the point I want to get across here, is that the ones that are selling, the 25% of new listings that are selling every single month, there's a reason why. So one of the properties that we just sold, it was a corner unit. It had a view directly across the street of the Rogers Center. Now, some people will like that. Some people think it's too busy, but it's safe. You're looking at the Rogers Center. It's not going anywhere. Where the ones that were looking directly at another building, even though they had a good floor plan, they're kind of sitting on the market. So what is wow factor? Wow factor is great view. Wow factor could even be a smaller unit having a parking space, right? It's floor plan. It's obviously location of the building. Is it a loft? Are you on the podium section of your building and you have 10 or 11 foot ceilings instead of the standard 8.5 or 9 foot? All those things kind of add up. Or, did you do a renovation and make a segment of your condo wow? Because cookie cutter stuff right now, it's sitting on the market. It is stale. You got to buy something that's going to have a wow factor. And right now, if you're a seller and you don't have a wow factor, that's not your fault, right? It just is what it is. Your price has to be your wow factor. Because right now, if you're a condo buyer and you're looking at 10 listings, all in the neighborhood you want, it's which ones are you actually going to consider? Probably the top 3. So if you're a seller, you have to be in that top 3. And how do you be in that top 3 if you don't have a distinctive wow factor? We have to be priced accordingly. Okay, last thing I wanted to talk about, because I actually ran the numbers on this for the first time. Now, this is only for 170 sales, so this is a smaller sample size, but I do think it's telling, because this is a hunch I've had for a long time, which I think a lot of people would agree with, is how do you find the best deal, right? And we've talked about going after properties that have been sitting on the market and ones that are not marketed very well and all that kind of stuff. But I ran the numbers on tenanted properties versus owner-occupied or vacant properties. So for the most part, tenanted properties, they're not staged. Maybe the tenant cleaned up for the showing. Maybe they didn't. They're probably just annoyed that they're going to have to find a new property. So what I've learned from the numbers that I've looked at is that owner-occupied or vacant properties that are staged, not always necessarily staged, but have the owner's furniture in them, they're selling 3% higher than tenanted properties. So that's the risk that you're taking if you're selling a tenanted property, especially without an N11 signed. And the average days on market for owner-occupied properties that are selling versus the tenanted ones that are selling is about 25% less time on the market. So it's very interesting how all this is kind of playing into the market right now. If you're interested in a part 2 of this video, I wanted to go back to pre-pandemic and show you what's happened in the condo market since 2019 until today, because it has been an absolute roller coaster. And there's a lot of people selling condos now at prices that are at what they paid, or some cases lower than what they paid in 2020, just because of the way that the market has gone, where freehold housing is still way higher than it was in early 2020, 2021. In some cases, it's kind of back to where it was in 2022, depending on the market, because we had the drop off at the end of last year. But all these things are interesting to me. So I hope you enjoyed that video, a little bit more of a ranty style video, just had some things to share. Personally, for me, if I'm a condo buyer right now, I'm looking at the best buildings and I'm trying to negotiate. If I'm a condo seller, I'm making sure I'm staged. I'm looking really damn good. I got really good photos. I'm priced accordingly, because if you are a seller on the market right now and you want to be in the 25% of people that are actually selling, you got to look good. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. My name is Tom Storey. And remember, home is where your story begins.